Ever had your parents tell you to stop kissing in public? Well, ancient Romans took that awkward moment to a whole new level. They straight up banned kissing. And trust me, their reasons were absolutely bonkers. So here's the deal. Back in 300 BCE, Rome got hit with this nasty plague that had everyone freaking out. The Romans, being the creative problem solvers they were, came up with a theory that would make modern doctors face palm so hard. They blamed it all on kissing. They were convinced that swapping spit was spreading the disease faster than gossip at a dinner party. The government even created these super strict laws against public displays of affection. Imagine getting arrested for a quick peck on the cheek. But here's the kicker. While they were busy policing people's smooches, they completely missed the actual cause. Poor sanitation and those pesky disease-carrying rats running around the city. Enter Lucius Manlius Torquatus, Rome's biggest party pooper. This guy made it his personal mission to stop Romans from showing any affection in public. He convinced the Senate that kissing was basically a weapon of mass destruction. With his dramatic speeches about moral decay and public health, he pushed through the first anti-kissing laws in history. The fines were huge. We're talking about enough denarii to buy a small farm. Some historians say Torquatus was just bitter because his wife left him for a chariot racer, but that's ancient gossip for another day. The really funny part? While these politicians were busy writing anti-kissing laws, they'd still greet their friends with kisses in private. Talk about double standards. Here's where things get really weird. Roman soldiers came up with what might be history's creepiest breathalyzer test. They'd kiss their wives when they got home, not because they missed them, but to check if they'd been sneaking wine. See, back then, women weren't supposed to drink wine at all. The punishment? Death. Yeah, you heard that right. These guys would come home, plant a big smooch on their wives, and if they tasted even a hint of wine, well, let's just say it wasn't going to end well. It's like having a built-in wine detector, except instead of losing your driver's license, you could lose your life. Pretty extreme way to enforce prohibition, if you ask me. You can't tell Romans what they can't do. They'll just find a sneaky way around it. When the kissing ban hit, underground kissing clubs started popping up faster than mushrooms after rain. These rebellious Romans would meet in secret locations, usually in private villas or abandoned buildings, to basically throw make-out parties. They even had secret symbols to identify other club members. A small drawing of pursed lips scratched into walls or worn as jewelry. The authorities were losing their minds trying to shut these clubs down. The most famous club, run by a woman named Claudia, turned her basement into what she called a Temple of Venus, basically ancient Rome's version of a speakeasy, but for kissing instead of booze. The whole thing drove the Senate absolutely crazy, especially when they found out some of their own wives were club members. The ancient Roman doctors had some seriously wild ideas about kissing. They basically blamed it for every health problem under the Italian sun. These medical experts wrote long scrolls claiming that kissing could make your teeth fall out, your hair disappear, and even turn your liver into mush. One famous physician, Galen, warned that passionate kisses could suck out your soul through your mouth. They created this whole fake science around it, measuring the dangerous vapors exchanged during a kiss. My favorite theory? They claimed that kissing someone with red hair would give you freckles. I mean, come on. These guys were basically running a medieval WebMD, except instead of saying everything was cancer, they blamed it all on smooching. Let me tell you about the secret kissing rituals that somehow survived this ridiculous ban. Romans got super creative with their underground smooching ceremonies. They'd meet in candlelit wine cellars where couples would exchange secret tokens, usually little bronze lips or carved doves, before their forbidden kisses. The most popular ritual was called the Venus Whisper, where lovers would share a piece of honey-soaked bread, then kiss to share the sweetness of the gods. Some groups even created elaborate hand signals to identify fellow kiss rebels in public. My favorite part? They kept detailed journals of their secret meetings, writing in code about tasting the moon's blessing, which was basically fancy talk for making out. The authorities were going crazy trying to crack these codes. You won't believe how some clever Roman merchants turned this kissing crisis into a gold mine. They started selling these ridiculous greeting gadgets. Everything from bronze nose-bumping masks to something called a distant salutation stick. My favorite was the Venus fan, this fancy piece of fabric you'd wave between faces while greeting someone. One guy, Marcus the merchant, made a fortune selling approved greeting crystals that you'd hold up to your lips instead of kissing. He claimed they were blessed by the gods, but they were just shiny rocks from his backyard. The best part? The Senate actually endorsed some of these products, making the whole thing even more absurd. Rich Romans would show off their expensive greeting gadgets at parties like they were the latest fashion trend. You wouldn't believe the creative ways Roman couples outsmarted the kiss police. Some lovers carried around bowls of soup, pretending to accidentally bump faces while sharing a meal. Others mastered the art of the fake sneeze. "Oh no, I just happened to catch your lips while covering my mouth." My favorite trick? The statue pose. Couples would freeze mid-kiss if guards approached, claiming they were practicing for a theater performance. One clever pair even trained their pet monkey to cause distractions whenever the authorities came near. And get this, some couples wore these ridiculous masks with painted-on kissing faces, arguing they weren't technically using their real lips. Here's where kissing got seriously political in Rome. Young rebels started using public smooches as a big middle finger to the government. They'd organize these kiss-ins right in front of government buildings, hundreds of couples just going at it while officials watched in horror. The movement even had its own slogan, "Love conquers laws." Graffiti of kissing couples started appearing on Senate walls, and protesters wore little lip-shaped pins to show their support. The really funny part, some senators' own kids were leading these protests. Nothing says, "I hate your stupid law," quite like your daughter organizing a mass makeout session in the forum. After years of ridiculous rules and failed enforcement, the kissing ban finally met its end, and Rome threw the biggest lip-locking party in history. It started when Senator Marcus Flavius got caught smooching his wife at a public feast. But instead of accepting the fine, he made this passionate speech about love being a human right. The crowd went wild. Suddenly, couples everywhere started kissing in protest. The authorities couldn't arrest everyone, and honestly, most of the guards were too busy kissing their own sweethearts to care anymore. The Senate finally caved and repealed the law during the Festival of Venus. What followed was basically a citywide makeout session that lasted 3 days straight. Talk about making up for lost time. Thanks for joining me on this wild ride through ancient Rome's kissing crisis. If you enjoyed this crazy slice of history, smash that like button and subscribe for more historical shenanigans. Share it with someone who needs a good laugh.